goal of the devil too is to be worshipped as God. And if he do that, he has deceived those that have been deceived by it, right? That is his goal, to kill, steal, cheat, and destroy through the power of deception. Okay? Making sense so far? So that makes more sense, D? Because you had it right. Sort of, kind of, you had it. So that the authority that is utilized is through what is spoken. Take for instance today, our president. He's a very good example of this, right? How many of you know what fact check is? What fact checking is? Anybody heard of it? Yeah. Fact checking is nothing but how they analyze how many things are said through a person or a system or group, mostly political, and it goes back and tells if they were telling truth or lies. Well, our president has been at the top of the pole on that, hasn't he? Yeah. And you can always, hear them analyzing him, and he will renege on what he says. Well, this is a tool very much of the enemy. He'll tell you one thing at one time and then go back and tell you another thing at another time, right? Yeah. And we ourselves know that when you speak a lie, you're going to act a lie. And if you act a lie, you try to build up on your lie, right? Yeah. Sooner or later, it's going to come back and bite. Yeah, right? Yeah. And our president has that spirit of Antichrist because he is, I wouldn't say he is the Antichrist. Some people say he is going to be the Antichrist. I don't believe that yet. I don't know that yet. But I do know he's a type of it. And he's the closest thing we've had since Hitler, right? Mm-hmm. And for us in America, this is a dangerous thing for you and I as Christians, as black people, as people in general. Because right now we see a lot of the rights being snatched away, right? Yeah. Well, this is the very tool that the devil said he was going to utilize, the Antichrist system was going to utilize, that was spoken of in Daniel, I think the 7th or 8th chapter. Remember, it's going to change the laws in the time. Are we not seeing that done? And it's done at such a quick speed, duration of it, it's escalated so much so that now people are not even trying to fight it as they ought to. We're giving up our freedom, one reason, because we're already deceived. One reason, we've got comfortable in our skin with it. That's just the way it is. But the church, we should have our antennas up. We should have our hearts bowed down and humbled and crying out to God, correct? And this is the problem that we as the people of God have failed at. And it's causing havoc to the world as well as our world, spiritual life. You know it, and I know it, right? And so he goes on to say, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. So all this is given to him by God to utilize. Remember, all this is set up in Revelation because God said it was going to be, because we have sinned against God, the whole world. And the whole world has to pay for that sin. And we have not repented of those sins as a whole, right? And God, sin don't go undone without being something done about it, especially with God, right? Yeah. Okay? Makes sense so far. Yes, sir. And then he goes on to say, when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. There went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. So with all this that we just said, we know the red horse signifies war. Now, so this war, again, we're seeing it not just with knives, but this part is, right? This part has to be with, not just knives, but with weapons, something physical. Correct? Because it said it was given to him a great sword. Swords is used to cut and kill, right? So there's going to be some killing because the peace has been taken away, because there's war on earth, right? And it says they're going to kill one another. Are we not beginning to see that even more? And it's going to escalate more. Now, the thing you and I need to understand, that this war started spiritually. This war started spiritually with the first horse. Why? Because, remember, politics and religion go together. When man don't have his way and he ain't satisfied with it, the devil sure enough ain't satisfied with it, right? So he wants to start a war thinking he can conquer the situation verbally first and then physically, right? Yeah. So my actions, he's saying, is going to speak louder than my words. Do you not know your president is talking about going to war? Have y'all not heard that? Yeah. With who? Anybody he can. He picking on other nations to start one. Iran, Iraq, China. Huh? So since we're in Revelations, the 6th chapter, right now we're at verse 3. And as you see this going on, when you and I think about the state of our spiritual life, where are we at with this? Because that's really what's going to matter. Right now, all of this hasn't come to a head. But a lot of these things can happen overnight by the signing of a pen, by the push of a button. This could happen overnight. And the beast, he wants to hurry up and do it. The devil wants to hurry up and do it, right? Because remember, in the same book of Revelations, 12th chapter, that's around 10th so verse, he says the devil know he got a short time, don't he? Yeah. And so he's doing all he can to conquer and devour, kill and destroy, because he knows time is short. If he knows time is short, God told us too that he had to shorten the days, or else none of us would be saved, right? Yeah. We should wake up as well and realize that God is giving us a warning, a heads up. If we don't have a long time, the devil knows he doesn't have a long time, then why are we taking our time, right? Because this is critical. This is serious individually on your part and my part. What we do with it is up to us, because God has given us everything we need while we still have a little peace on earth. Am I right? When the doors of this church are closed, hopefully not too soon, but when they are closed, are we in a position, in a condition to continue on following the Lord? That's going to be essential. We've already had a taste of it, but what we did with that has not really went anywhere, right? right? It should have been we were on fire for God when we came back, right? But it seems as though we about the same spot or worse. Hello? Correct? And therefore, the Bible says, when our love waxes cold for God, we've left our first love. That's a sad situation for us as the people of God, because we're taking God for granted. Hello? Yeah. I am and you are, because God done too much for us to be in the state we're still in. And when we lose the fear of God, we lose the love of God. When we lose the love of God, we have no fear of God. You got that? Yeah. But what are we doing about it? That's the ultimate question. What am I doing about my soul? And everything else is going to go on, with or without me. Am I right? If I die today, the world's still going on, right? Yeah. With or without me. But my world is going in this earth. And then there's going to be eternal. What will happen after that? Where I stay for eternity will be up to me. How's that? Because he said, choose this day who you're going to serve. If I'm serving God, I'm going to obey God. If I'm serving the devil, I'm going to obey the devil. So there's only two places for me to go, right? And time is running out, correct? So let's just go through these 4 horsemen for a moment. And then we'll go back to 17 and 18th chapter, okay? All right, Revelations 6. Now we at verse 5, right? Yeah. Okay. And when he had opened the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4th beast say, so let's just stop there and deal with the 3rd. Okay? So the 3rd horse was what color? Black. And we said that horse represents economic systems. Okay, the economical financial system, right? Yeah. Where's it at today? What state is not just the world but America? Unstable. What state is that then for us, the economy? What they say, what state are we in? A crisis. Do you not know they said we pretty much are still in a recession? Huh? How many of you know that? In a recession, do they hire or fire? In a recession, do they give you more or less? In a recession, everybody struggles. And the rich man squeezes their money, right? Yeah. In a recession, your government realize they have the upper hand, so they end up, if you notice, through the recessions, they make more laws. They change the older laws and put in new ones. Because why? They got the power and authority right now. And it ain't really nothing you can do. During that recession, whatever goes on, like we are today in that crisis. Look at Oregon. Look at even Kansas City when the feds were here and the police and the protesters and so forth and so on. Is this still going on? Yeah. And guess where has it gotten really? Nowhere. Not really. It was a lot of nice words said at one point, but what good is that when there's no true action to change, right? Hello?